Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together the layered Easter egg card, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So this is the card we're going to put together. Here's a completed version. It's a little happy Easter embellishment with little pop-up flowers. And we have this cutout egg that's layered. So and you can see that this one, it has a little embossing feature on the front, so that's another option that you can use. It came out really nice. And then we'll show you the pieces that are included to make this now. So we have these three pieces which make up the Happy Easter. So that'll make up that little piece. And then we have the flowers in here in my little embellishment bowl so I don't lose them. They're small. Then we have all these layers. And you see there's like 5 layers. So the cut up layers are these ones, and this is the backing. So for the backing, it's going to be a little bit smaller than the rest. So when we put it together, we'll put all 4 of these together, and you can see it can get a little thick. And we'll glue all those together, and then it'll eventually go on top of this blue. But for now, let's go ahead and put aside the card. So there's the card, and all these layers, and we'll go ahead and start putting this together. So we might as well get this little piecing out of the way. I'll just have a little Fifi or something on there, little dust. So the way that this goes together is this goes on the back for the openings to make the middles. So it'll just cover the back like that. So we'll do that first. This is a technique so you can cut it out, and it gives it a nice dimension. And I would put glue on this because you can't put glue. If you put glue on this, you're not going to know where the holes are. So we're just going to go ahead and just make sure that it covers all the open holes. That's really, and it doesn't show. So I did a little bit there. It was a little bit off because you don't want it to show from the front. So that part was showing when I was doing it. So be careful placing it more than once because you could get glue showing through on the other side. I was fortunate because where I placed the glue, but now that's the middle. So you can see once we put this on, that middle will look like the middles of the P's and the A's and the E. So to put this on, this comes in handy as a fine tip applicator. And I'm just going to go really lightly around the edges, trying to stay away from the openings a little bit. And you do have to hit these little areas, if you can see, just barely. If you need to, you could use a little paintbrush or something like that. I also have been known to use what they call zig glue pens, which have really thin tips to do things like this. But since I have this one and I know how to control the glue flow, I typically just use this. But if you haven't tried one, you might want to give it a try if you struggle with this kind of stuff, with intricate designs. And some people use Xyron, little Xyrons. I'm not a fan of the Xyrons, but I have them. I use them occasionally, but not on these kind of things because I never can get all the sticky. If you've used one, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I made sure I put glue on the back of that A. So we're just going to go ahead, and you can see it lines up on the left here. And then to the bottom. So right there. And then I'm just lining it up. I put it on loosely so I can wiggle it around and get it in place. And voila, we have a Happy Easter. So now's a decision you can make whether you want to just put the middles of whether you use these little middles or you use something like a enamel dot in the middle of these flowers. Or the other option is to do a little foam dot on the back, which I have, So I'll do it with the little flower. You probably want to put the middles on first to the flowers before you do this. So let's just put a dot of glue. I'm going to pop them up because I like the dimensional look. But again, you could use it like a little dot of whatever you want to do for the middle of the flower. You don't have to use that. That's just included if you want to use it. So here I'm just lining it up so it lines up to the one on the back. It gives it a nice little dimension. And you see a lot of stickers like that these days. So we're going to go add the other two middles of the flowers. And then we'll go ahead and do the same. And that'll be ready to put on when we finish layering the card. So two of the flowers are the same size, and the third one is a little bit smaller. So we put the smaller one on first. Biggest thing is just getting it somewhat matched to orient it on the front, just because it's popped up. I'm kind of at an angle, so if you get right above it, you can usually put it on rather well. So there you go, little cute little happy Easter thing with little flowers. So now let's go ahead and put these layers together. So we will do the blue last. So we'll put the card and the blue over there for a second. I'll start with the back. We'll go ahead and add glue to this. I mean, you can add glue to the white one that's shown, and of course you can use any colors you want. But if you do add glue to the bottom one first, remember you're going to have an overlap, so you have to be careful where you put the glue. So you'd have to kind of go wide around the egg cutout part. So I'm just going to kind of pseudo place it, make sure it's close. That's why I didn't get too much glue near the opening. And then now I can line up the edges. So you can see this is, now it formed the outside of that egg, and we'll have that coming through, showing through. So just make sure they're layered in order from smallest, which is that white layer, to biggest to get that effect. And then glue them one by one. Another thing while I'm doing this, while you're watching me do this, the other thing that's nice is that when you cut these out of, especially if you don't do like a print and cut, if you cut it out of solid cardstock, you're going to have the actual egg portion cut out as well. So you could actually layer those eggs and make another card. Just cut out or use an existing folded card you have in your stash, because I know a lot of people have them. And you could go ahead and just make another card with layered eggs. So here's an example from the other card that I made. So I could actually lay them like this on another card and put a little embellishments and another different kind of tag or something like that. Maybe emboss this front one, and you have another card. So 2 cards in one. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over there. And then we have this front, which was that I print and cut using digital paper. So typically when I use digital paper, I cut that first and then I match my cardstock colors to it. So again, I'm just lining up one of the edges. The bottom one's the easiest for me because it's shorter. I'm just going to drop it down lightly and then flip it on its edge, and I'm just going around all the edges to make sure it's matched up. For some strange reason, I didn't cut these all in the same machine. Cricut cut this smaller than the other one, so that's why if you even notice it at all, I noticed it. they're the same exact size. I verified it. So if you cut this all on Cricut, I just happened to use another machine to, I had a little machine that's been doing wonky things on the other ones, but Cricut was easier to do print and cut, so. But I cut the rest on my Eclipse machine, which they're no longer made. Or sold, I should say. Made and sold. So, we're on the home stretch. We're going to flip this over so we see the front of the card. And this is going to just be centered. So what would be cute, to give you some ideas, is if you embossed the egg back there with something just kind of generic pattern back there. But I mean, that's up to you because we have all this here. The other thing I thought about is just doing kind of pen accents on these. And also, after we get them layered, things like this, like the middle of the flowers. But you could just do it just as is. Makes it a real simple card. So we're going to go ahead and we'll put this on the back of this. So I'm just going to put glue on the white part, and the reason is so we know where the openings are. Kind of go around the edge. Oops, not too close to the edge, by the way. This is smaller. But it's okay that the glue, if it doesn't cover, if there's glue coming around the edges, for this one, it's going to be covered because I'm going to put it glued on this. It's not much smaller. See, it covered all the glue. I just didn't want you to see the edge of this backing because it's such a thick layered section. I mean, you know, it gets thick. It's like a little, becomes almost like your own chipboard. That's what it feels like. Not too thick to send, but it just feels thick. Then we'll go ahead and center it on the front of the actual card. A quick glue job. And then we'll just add that tag that we put together. I'm not going to pop it up with any kind of foam tape or anything because I've already popped up these flowers. And then it's all done. So again, if you did like this, please give me a little thumbs up below, and you could always hit the little notification bell if you want to be notified when we have new videos, whether it be tutorials or assemblies for new products. And I always appreciate a subscribe as well. I mean, you can subscribe or just a like if you don't feel like doing that. And there it is. You could always add additional embellishments. I might add a couple little things for the flowers, but that's about it. Quick card. This one feels springy. And there you go. So 2 different versions of the same card. I hope you enjoy this project if you do make it. And I thank you so much for watching.